Good morning! Good morning, everyone! I have so much to update you guys on. I don't know where to start. Why does my voice sound different? I'm sick! I'm recovering from an illness! I'm a small Victorian child who was introduced to 500 different strains of virus, and I got sick! That's what happened to me. I really am sick. I guess I'll start with my sick story. I guess it's better to start with what happened just now. So I think it was I remember it happening during the karaoke stream. You remember the off collab that was hosted on Fumoko's channel? And we're all in the studio karaoke timing? On that day, on that karaoke day, I woke up and I'm like, wow, I kind of have a sore throat. It kind of hurts to swallow. It's probably because the air in this area is so dry. And I'm not hydrated enough, because being hydrated makes you have to pee often. And I hate peeing, especially in the Far East, because you have to go out of your way to find a bathroom. And I'm just like, the less I drink, the less I have to use the bathroom. And I have to look for one. So that's... So that's why I don't hydrate, because I'm like, peeing is a cycle where I can't believe that every time I pee, or every time I drink, I have to pee. It's awful. That's why I'm not very hydrated. And so, I guess on the day of the karaoke stream, I had a little bit of a sore throat, but it didn't hurt that much. It just like, it just felt really dry, and I didn't feel sick. I didn't have any other symptoms except that it was a little uncomfortable to swallow. And then it kind of went away as the day progressed. But in the morning, I think if you hear me in the morning of that stream, I'm like, I have a sore throat. My throat kind of hurts. That we should have known. We should have known. That is how it always starts. But after that, I was like, I'm fine. It's not sickness. I'm fine. What day was that? I think that was the 12th? 12th JST at least. The day after that, we had to go on our trip. Gigi was patient 0. That is so not true. There's so... The timeline, there's so many people that got sick before me. There's so many people that got sick from Fest. Crazy amounts of people. I got hit in the crossfire. And then, I think on the 13th, we were headed on our trip, and I was a little low energy that day, and I'm like, sorry that we went on our onsen trip, me, Rara, and Cece, and I'm like, sorry, I'm low energy. I have I have a sore throat. It's not a sore throat. I'm like, I'm not sick, guys, but me being low energy probably kind of tipped them off too. But I'm like, I'm not sick. I don't have any other symptoms of being sick. I'm not sick. I don't have a fever. Everyone has a fever right now. I don't have a fever. It's just, it hurts to swallow a little bit. And I'm making sure I get really hydrated. And I'm drinking a lot of liquids now, even though I don't want to. And I was freaking downing Pocari Sweat every chance I got. I was so hydrated. And then the onsen was really nice. And then I felt healed being in the onsen, sitting in the hot bath going, wow, I'm not sick. Never kill yourself. This is beautiful. And then the day that we're returning from the onsen, so I canceled stream. Or Rob was like, we should cancel stream. I want you to get better. Because like the entire morning, I'm like, no, I think we can still do it. I think it's fine. We'll just head back to your place immediately after. But I guess she sensed how low energy I was, and she's like, you should take care of yourself. We should cancel stream. And I'm like, okay. And I went back on that day. And then I met up to get so I still wasn't feeling very sick on this day. I got back, I was like, whatever. I was just really dizzy this morning when I stood up for some reason, but that's whatever. Every time I move my head a certain way and I get really dizzy, that I'm not sick. That's okay. I don't know, like my head was spinning every time I like knelt down, I bent down, and I stood up. I got really dizzy for some reason. But I wasn't sick. I was not sick. I was healing. I felt normal. And Gigi Tomo, you know how I was at her house? Well, she was in the Far East that week. So I was like, let's get her. By the way, I may or may not be sick. So let's not share food, but I may or may not be sick. And she's like, okay. So we got dinner and we went into like a perfume shop together. And they handed us, like, you know, a sample paper for us to smell it. And I was shoving that up. I'm like, right up in my face, trying to smell it. I'm like, does it smell like anything? And she was like, it's kind of strong. And I'm like, I can't smell it. And she's like, she's like, bro. And then this was before our dinner. We went to our dinner after that, and I'm like, Gigi Tomo, I'm scared. And she's like, shut up. And we got sushi, and I'm like, I have terrible news. I can't taste it. And I usually hate ginger. I hate ginger so much. I put ginger in my mouth and I'm like, I can't taste the ginger. And we ordered one wasabi and I'm like, I can't taste it. And she's giving me this look. You know what she's thinking. She's like, oh my god. Like in her head where she's like, get away from me. And the entire time, like the rest of the night, I am like tweaking because I'm like, oh my god, I go home really soon. What if I have the cough? I'm the entire time I'm like, I'm going to kill myself. And then I told, well, then me and Gigi Tomo went to our friend's house who lives in the Far East, because she's like, I have test, come over, you can take one, let's all take one together. And I'm like, okay. So we go over to their house and they pull out some test and we take it and we're like, where are the control lines? What kind of test is this? And then they're like, oh, this expired in 2022.
NANI?
And I'm like, we were sitting there for like 15 minutes. I went to 2 pharmacies being like, do you guys have any tests here? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, anyone got any tests? And then that's why she's like, come over, you can test at my place. So we're sitting there for 15 minutes and I'm like, I don't think this is working. The control line isn't even popping up. What's happening? And they're like, do tests expire? And then we're like, dude, tests expire. And they're looking at the package and they're like, the date on this says 2022. Yeah. Well, I had things to pick up from their house because they got me a lot of joke bear items and a lot of Chikawa stuff that I had to bring home. So I had to pick them up. So I gathered all my goods. All the things that I needed to be picked up. And then this is when I very pathetically went to Mane-chan and I was like, where... Do you know where I can find some tests to take? And then Mane-chan's like, uh-oh. Let's go to the doctor. And then in my head, the first time I was like, I might be a little sick. To Mane-chan. And then Mane-chan's like, do you want me to make an appointment? And I'm like, nah. Because in my head, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Go to the doctor? Are you kidding me? I haven't been in a doctor in so long. Doctor? How expensive? I am not going to the doctor. And then when I asked Mane-chan that, Mane-chan was like, very assertive, being like, when are you free tomorrow? And I'm like, I think I'm free at this time. And then Mane-chan's like, okay, I booked you an appointment, I'll pick you up. And I'm like, okay. So I went! And they tested me for many things to see what's wrong with me. And I'm dying. And Mane-chan was like, it'll be okay. And I'm so doomer. Like, the entire morning, I was looking up, like, will I get my taste back? And then people with the most doomer mindset be like, I never got my sense of smell back, and it's been a year. And I'm like, that's gonna be me! That's gonna be me, and I'm gonna be so sad! And it'll be nothing worth living for if I don't get my sense of smell and taste back! Because... oh my god! Before this trip, I don't know who I brought this up, but my mom messaged me before this trip, and she was like fear-mongering me, and she was like, watch out, there's so many people getting sick in the Far East, and she said, like, the day before my trip, she sends me an article of some actress dying! Because she got sick in the Far East! And I'm like, what the hell are you sending me? So she sent me that, like, the day before my trip, she texted me that! And I'm like, what the hell? And she was, I put up with her because she has to drive me to the airport. And the entire morning of going there, she was griefing me so bad. I was so debuffed the entire morning. And then she, like, unpacked my stuff and put a lot of medicine in my bag. Should have listened to my mom. I didn't die! I'm fine! She's wrong! But she unpacked my bag and put a bunch of medicine inside. I'm like, I won't need this. So why are you unpacking my bag? I'm not gonna need this stuff. I did end up using it. So thank you, Gigi Mama, for packing all that medicine. Also, I kind of, like, before that, I didn't have any symptoms. That's how I was coping. But then I started getting a cough. I feel like I'm more sick now than I was a couple days ago. and now I'm just coughing. But I was taking a taxi to the clinic. And I don't know, I wasn't coughing in the morning. Like when I'm active and I'm moving around, I don't cough that much. And I'm like, I'm fine, I'm not coughing that much. But it's like the moment I sit down on transportation that I start having coughing fits. And do you not feel like the biggest loser ever when you're on transportation and you're coughing? And you're like, oh my god, these people think that and like I'm literally en route to a clinic in this taxi, coughing my lungs out. And I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry, taxi person. I don't mean it. I don't think of me that way. I don't have the plague, please.